I'm Leigh Brown. If we've never met, hey, I'm a realtor here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I know that y'all out there in the world have been talking about things that are a threat to your business, to your livelihood, to everything else. Let me mess with the light here for a minute. It ain't working. But anyway, because I'm coming at y'all live from a screen porch, so you can hear the tree frogs outside. They are very loud. And my children might wander out here, although they frankly had ought to be in the bed, but children are kind of unpredictable, like realtors. Maybe all realtors should be mamas too. Tonight we're going to talk about, and before I show this to y'all, I don't know how to do this well, so we're going to figure this out. The slides are going to look backwards. I recommend y'all watch this in the mirror if you absolutely need to read the slides the right way, because here is our evening tonight. We're going to talk about how to defeat Zillow and other perceived threats to your business. I'm going to cross my heart and hope to die that I hope I offend every single person that's watching this tonight, because apparently y'all need a little come to Jesus meeting about your business, because you're all tore up online about things like Zillow, and I see Florida and I see Tennessee, and here comes Oklahoma. Hey, I love y'all so much. Here we at, y'all, okay? We're going to do some slides. You're going to roll with me tonight. You are allowed to say amen. You are allowed to say preach on. If you argue with me, frankly, I may or may not acknowledge you because I'm just not, frankly, in the mood tonight. And in the spirit of our good friends, Chris Smith. Hey, Michigan, there's Debbie. Chris Smith and Jimmy Macklin, you know, they are the ones who did hashtag water cooler for all those years, and now they're doing big, fancy things out in the liberal world of California. In their honor, I've got my hot tea. Because, frankly, I don't drink this time of night. Y'all know it's past my bedtime, those of y'all that do know me. So here we go. And go on and share this with your friends. Brokers, use it in your sales meeting. I don't care. So here we go. Let's talk about how we're going to defeat Zillow, because y'all are scared out of your minds. Okay? First thing I want to ask you is, why in the world do y'all hate this website? You have a severe, instinctive, horrible hatred of Zillow, and frankly the Bible does tell us not to hate. So y'all, you got to settle it down a little bit. I know why you hate them, and I've heard y'all when we go out and about and we're having events, and you love to stomp your feet and you say, well, they're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong, 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 and that's why I hate them. All right, for real, it's a website. Y'all get very heated up over websites. So, I can't flip my screen back and forth. That would be too much whipping of hair back and forth. I don't have enough hair for that. Because I love y'all. You like to say that Zillow is stealing your business from you, stealing your leads and selling them back to you. That's the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard. And I do appreciate you cut the hockey game over for me for a minute. I cut my baseball over for y'all, so I will go catch up on my Cardinals game here in just a minute. So, the thing is, y'all are angry about a website because it exposes you for what you've become, all right? And that's this. A lot of y'all have become the average real estate agent. You like to tell me that you have a marketing plan and that you are somehow special. I'm going to tell y'all something. You are doing a lot of the things that other people do. Now, go ahead and get mad. Now is your opportunity, because what does the average realtor like to tell the world? She likes to say, I'm too busy for you. That's what y'all do every time you're on social media talking about, oh, I had 87 closings and I showed 11 houses and we were 83rd offer and we won, blah, blah, blah. When you go on talking like that, you have told people that you're too busy for them. Stop it. Y'all are out of control on social media. Out of control. Y'all do not say things on Facebook that you would say at a dinner party. At least, frankly, I hope that you would not say it at a dinner party, because you would be dreadfully horrible to sit beside. Then you like to tell people, well, we have the multiple list. Hang on a minute. We have the multiple list? Well, you know what? So does every realtor. And some non-realtors in some markets. Then you say, oh, well, I have a yard sign. Well, great day in the morning. Everybody's got a yard sign except for the neighborhoods that don't allow it, but that's a different soapbox for a different day. You like to talk about photos. We're going to talk about that in a minute, people. And then you want to tell people that you will put their house on the internets. And anytime you make internet plural, you have denigrated yourself intellectually, because the internet is a singular word, and there's no apostrophe in it either. We got to stop the overuse of the apostrophe in the world. So that's what the average real estate agent does. What are you doing that's more than that? Now, y'all want to tell me that you care, and a website can't care. That's fine. There's almost 1.3 million realtors. I reckon most of them care about something. So what are you doing? What are you? And most importantly, y'all, who are you? What kind of business are you running? And I've said this several times. I'm frankly sick and daggum tired of y'all talking smack about realtors and brokers that charge less than you do. Guess what? When you start fussing about that, you are colluding and antitrust. And that's too many syllables for some of y'all at this time of night, and I get it. You have got to stop it. When you fuss about somebody charging less than you do, you're telling the consumer that they don't get to pick. And guess what, y'all? Our business has always been about the consumer, even though most of us never recognized it. Y'all have made it about yourselves. In fact, I fussed with a vendor today. He's building a program about how they can, do things in the world. I wanted my feedback, and all he could talk about was how he would help people double in properties. And I said, well, you ain't talking to me, because I don't double in properties. I think it is a conflict of interest inherently, and it ought to be outlawed every which way but loose. However, he's trying to appeal to the realtors who want just to make cash off the backs of the consumer without understanding that a lot of us do this business and we would like to be paid so we can take care of our families, but we really do this because we want to make real estate an amazing profession and an amazing experience. And when all you talk about is money, and that's whether you're talking about what people want to commissionectomy you for or whether you talk about what people are charging, stop it. Stop it right now. If you will stop talking about the money and you're doing things right, the money will find you. Now, it might not find you at the speed at which you'd like, but you know what? Suck it up, Buttercup. Sometimes you got to have some patience to get there. And now, so let's talk about the different ways you could run your business. This is from my favorite Time Suck website, People of Walmart. And people put pictures on there so I can poke fun at them. And y'all know what you expect from Walmart. You expect to find everything, all right? All right, maybe that's some of y'all realtors that want to be all things to all people. You have got to learn you do not have to be all things to all people. Did your mama not tell you that growing up? Your mama should have told you the same thing that my mama and my grandma told me, and that was that if you have one good special friend, you have more than your share. You don't get to have everything and everybody. Stop it. Walmart has tried that, and what do y'all expect from them? You expect dirty, no customer service bathrooms. You don't go to, frankly, unless you are just desperate, unless the Walmart's a week old. You expect to be run in the back of the calf with some buggy by some child who's out of control, and you expect to see that child getting whipped one aisle over because that's the last place on earth where you can whip a child is Walmart. So that's Walmart. They don't give us everything that we need, but they have most everything. So you hold your breath and clutch your pearls, and you go in there and you suck it up to get done. Is that what real estate with you is like for a consumer? Ask yourself that. Have you made it delightful, or have you made it a teeth-grinding, horrible experience? And frankly, most of y'all are doing it really well, but you don't tell anybody that. And so the consumer doesn't have the foggiest idea what you're doing for them because you're over here, la, 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 and they're going through 8 degrees of hell trying to figure out what happened to their buyer, but you didn't talk to them. Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing as you looking for a customer service person in Walmart. That is like finding a UFO over New Mexico. And I saw that Linda DeVlieg is on here. Maybe she could tell us if there really is a UFO, but I don't think there is. That's not one of my 10 hat conspiracies. And the other thing is, we've got this model available, Nordstrom. Oh, y'all love to go to Nordstrom, don't you? And you expect to pay full price. And what do you get for that full price? You get the husband chairs outside the door. And that's why you know it's a good store. The husbands know where their place is. It's to go sit and be comfortable and wait until your turn has been called. You do not get a husband chair at Walmart. You get clean bathrooms in Nordstrom. You get people that do not aggravate your nerves. They ask you what you need, and then they help you find it. And then they take care of you all the way through, whether you bought it or not. And if you didn't know this, because I've only made like one purchase there, because y'all know, if you know me, that I am cheap. And I got a handwritten note from the salesperson in the actual snail mail to thank me for my time coming into the store. It's an entirely different thing, all right? So why am I asking y'all that? I ask you this because as realtors, a lot of y'all got your license. You decided you're going to go out there and be paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and you didn't have an idea in the world of what the hell you were doing. You thought you had a good broker, but you did not know who to ask or what to ask. And frankly, your brokers are exhausted and going broke because that business model is so broken in so many ways. But you didn't ask for help. You figured you'd go learn how to do this on the backs of the consumer and that you ought to be paid the same thing as somebody with 35 years experience who knows exactly what to do in the process. Stop it. Get off your high horse and go learn something. Oh, it just makes me so mad. And this is why consumers wanted a website, y'all. You wanted to know why they need something like Zillow? It's because y'all are demanding a Nordstrom price for your Walmart experience. Now, let's talk about how we fix that. Because you know I'm all about solutions. Solutions, baby, solutions. Let's talk about how we fix it. And that's by you defining your value proposition. I've seen it said a couple of times in all the kerfluffle over Zillow, but most realtors can't do it. And y'all, it's hard. You have to know why you do this business, because as y'all know, this business is mean and it's hateful and you get screamed at and cheated on and cussed at and people don't treat you well. Well, frankly, you've never expected anything different. Why would they treat you differently when you're giving them a Walmart experience at a Nordstrom price? So I'm going to ask y'all why you do real estate. And don't you tell me it's about the money. Because frankly, it should never be about the money. Nothing in life should be about the money, because money is just a tool with which you fund your life. You have got to stop it. Focusing on money is why realtors are hated by consumers. What if you put aside your desire for money and desired instead to delight a consumer? It changes everything. And I think I should have a bunch of amens right now from all of y'all that I know on this post. I know how you do the business. You do this in a way that the consumer knows they matter. When you're dealing with siblings handling a parent's property, that's always interesting ground to trod. And I see that one of my clients on here, she knows because she went through that with siblings, and it's not easy. And you need a realtor to hold your hand who's listening and isn't thinking about the daggum check at the end of the road. So I'm not going to let you let real estate be about money. And so then y'all will say, oh, well, I love people. You did till you did your first transaction. Then you find out dealing with the general public is a recipe for stress and ulcers and just general disaster. So you can't love people and love real estate. All right. Now, I know y'all mean to love them because you're a good Christian person. And I know that you're supposed to love thy neighbor. Most importantly, you're supposed to love your enemy. And I'm going to tell y'all to love Zillow in a minute, but we'll get around to that. The thing is, if you don't know why you do real estate, why should a consumer hire you? Why would they come to you and not a website? The website's easy. It's got what they need, but you never told them why you matter. You like to tell people it's because you have experience. Experience at what? Last time I checked, when I watched Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts was experienced, and that's not exactly the same kind of experience that people need to have in real estate. So maybe you tell them that you care about them. Again, not enough. Their mama cares, grandma cares, and the best friend cares. And so what makes you, the realtor, different? All right? So here's what I want you to figure out. What makes you special? Because something makes you special. There's a reason your clients love you, and the reason that they call you, and the reason that you are the one realtor they trust out of all the million plus of us. Your clients love you, respect you, and value you. So I need you to call them. All right? I need you to call 5 of your most recent past people and ask them, hey, why me? What did I do? What made me different? You could have had anybody, but you picked me. Let them tell you. Now, they might tell you things you don't want to hear. They might say that you could have done this better or this differently. You need to accept that with humility, because that's where we grow. In fact, as an industry, I think that's what Zillow has put us into a place of right now. We're in a place of humility where we can make a choice. We can either grow and get better and show the consumer that we matter, or you can throw your hands up and let the websites have it. Not me. Maybe some of y'all, that's fine. Y'all go on and roll on. So if you're not sure exactly how to figure out what it is that you provide, you're going to call the 5 past clients and you're going to read this book. I've told y'all before, and I know you're realtors and you don't read. Oops. I don't know what I mashed there. You're going to read Start With Why by Simone Sinek. Those of y'all that don't read, TED Talk from 2010 or 11 or some such. That man's brilliant. He will help you figure out why you do what you do. Why is real estate worth getting cussed at and yelled at? It's because of something. You love being an integral part of your community. You love being the advocate for your clients. You love educating your clients. You love holding their hand in this very stressful, emotional, financial transaction. You've got to define it, and you've got to articulate that, because that's how you should be cultivating, all right? Cultivate with your why, all right? Now listen, Every time I travel to go talk to realtors, my most fun research project is I look y'all up and I get on your websites and I make at least 8 inquiries from my fake addresses and personalities. And y'all thought I only had the one. So I like to make inquiries and ask about things. Y'all don't reply to me. You don't call me. You don't text me. You don't email me. You act like I never existed. And guess what? I'm a human being. And one day I might just move to wherever in Podunk you are. If you're not responding to me, who else are you not responding to? You aren't getting an opportunity to tell your why because you're just not talking to people. So when you respond, you've got to respond with something more than, hey, thank you for visiting my website. Love to provide you with a VIP home search to alert you to properties fit your needs as soon as they hit the market. Because we all say the same thing. And as a consumer, if you're sending that to everybody and they've been on 8 different websites because they have looking for a human who will talk to them and build relationship with them and listen to them, maybe if you said instead something about, oh, I love that house that you asked about. Can I tell you about it? Or maybe you say something like, let me tell you what you can't see in the photos. Give them a reason to start conversation with you, and then you can tell them why you do real estate. I know why I do real estate. I do this because I get my jollies out of helping consumers navigate the minefield of a transaction. They might get blown up, and I might get blown up, but pieces of us are getting across the finish line together, and that's a message that consumers need to hear from you too. It can't all be rainbows and sunshine and unicorn and lollipops, y'all, because that's killing all of us slowly. That's all y'all talk about is all the positives that could maybe happen. You're going to have to tell the consumer things can go wrong. When you talk to the buyer for the very first time, you need to talk to them about multiple offers and how you're not really being pushy when you tell them they may have to fight over the first house they look at, and it might be the only house they get to look at. If you don't tell them that, how will they know that you're not a shyster when you get into that house? So when you cultivate with this and you tell people that you love educating people and you love being part of their journey and their conversation, it changes everything. Now, let's talk about why this estimate is nothing to fear, okay? I need y'all to remember something. Zillow is a website. It's worth $1 billion or something. So for all of y'all that say NAR should take it over, first of all, that's just stupid. And second of all, if all of our members pitched in $1,000, we might hit the valuation of it. But you just stop it. Just stop. Zillow filled a gap that we created because we weren't listening to consumers. Will you please hear me on that? We weren't talking to consumers and they filled a gap. But they can't fill the gap that a great realtor can bridge. But you have to define that. You have to be that realtor. This is your moment, y'all. If you can't manage in a world with Zillow, get out. I've said it. Let your license go. Be a referral agent. Go back to your 9 to 5. But I'm pretty sure that y'all are so engaged with your clients and you're so amazing in your community. There's no way in the world Zillow's anything close to you. Do you understand that? You have to hear me. Your biggest enemy right now, y'all, is you. You're fighting with yourself because you're scared, and I get that. Fear hits all of us at times in our life. I mean, during the last recession, if you don't know this, I've been playing piano since I was 6, and I always wanted to learn to play the organ, so I took organ lessons in 2009 because I was afraid. I was afraid that my real estate business would go away and I'd need to have a backup plan. So I got my backup plan in place, but I kept going from my real estate business, and my business has grown every year. And on the bright side, I can now play the organ too, so if y'all die, I'll come play at your funerals. So let's talk about why this estimate is nothing to be feared. And I wish I could respond to your comments, but I don't know what I mashed on my screen, so I don't see them. I just see who my viewers are. I don't know how to work this. I kind of need to have Michael Thorne here. I see he's here. Hey, Michael. So I want you to look at this, okay? Oh, that background noise, if you're late joining the Facebook live cast, that's my tree frogs. They're very happy that it rained this afternoon. Now, a lot of y'all go to a listing appointment and your client slides the paper across the table like you're at a used car lot, and they want to show you that estimate, whoop, whoop, because they feel like they got it figured out. Well, the thing is, y'all, they show you that estimate because that's what they found online. And what bothers you most, and I know this, is that sometimes it's right. Whoa, you hate it when it's right. But you know what? It's not right most of the time. Now it's getting better. Zillow's improved their algorithm. They're using AI to look at photos to make the numbers better for the consumer. This ain't about y'all. This is about what the consumer wants. Most of y'all would rather say, well, let me come to your home and give you a free CMA. For real? When was the last time anybody paid for a CMA? Are you kidding me? Y'all like to advertise a free CMA. Now, you should also tell consumers what CMA means, a comparative market analysis. And if you're going to do a comparative market analysis, you had better know that pricing a house is not dollars per square foot. All right? Repeat after me. Pricing a house is not dollars per square foot. Now, that's a different soapbox for a different day, but y'all are killing me slowly with this. You people have forgotten how to do adjustments. Well, you know what? Zillow's figuring it out because y'all are too damn lazy to do it. Don't get mad at Zillow. Get honest with yourself. You hear me on that? And that's a tweetable moment. Well, somebody go tweet that. All right. Now, here's why the Zestimate can't touch y'all when you're good. Now, the Zillow's going to put some of y'all out of business, and I'm fine with that because I know some names I would put on that list and pull a Barney Fife, and I would yank some licenses if I could, but I don't have that goal right now. Maybe one day later. Zillow can't account currently, I'll come on screen, for location. All right? And here's how they can't account for location. Zillow can see if you're waterfront, but they don't know how much of a premium it pulls. Zillow doesn't know if you're involved with political advocacy in your neighborhood, and maybe you go to the DOT meetings, all right? When you go to the DOT meetings, you heard about that proposed 4-lane that's coming in where it's currently a 2-lane. What would happen to the property values of those houses that back up to that proposed 4-lane? They gonna go up? They gonna go down? They gonna stay the same? I believe y'all know. Zillow can't account for that, all right? But I'm gonna tell you something. You can't account for it either if you don't get up off your dead ass and start going to meetings. Start reading your local newspaper. Be engaged and be involved in these discussions because it matters to your community. The realtors who will survive and thrive forever, they're totally involved in this. They get that, okay? Now, let's talk about something else Zestimate can't account for. And that is, oh, and the white screen. See, y'all have to forgive my lack of technology here. It's condition, all right? Now, for my condition explanation, I want you to understand this. Those of y'all that lived through the dark years, and that's 2008 through 2013, you know this better than our new people amongst us. And it's not that we don't love y'all, but y'all ain't seen what we saw during those years. You would see a house where the formerly beige carpet had turned black. And I don't mean that little line around the wall where the vacuum shoots the dirt up against the wall. I'm talking about solid black because the house had never seen a vacuum cleaner. And people had never apparently taken a shoe off in the house and apparently wallowed around in the mud every time before they came in. We saw that house. That house will bring less because of its condition. Zillow can't know condition, all right? You got to understand that. But it also means just because Zillow doesn't know, it doesn't excuse you. You need to know. Do you know how much it costs to replace carpet in your market? If you don't, get up off your dead ass and go ask the flooring people, what does Realtor grade contractor beige carpet cost per square? You need to know that. Maybe the house had 47 different paint colors in it because there was a sale at Sherwin-Williams. That house will bring less than the neighbor's house, which is a tasteful shade of sea salt by Sherwin-Williams throughout the house. Because that's like my favorite color. I love sea salt by Sherwin-Williams. It's perfect. So anyway, you got these two houses. Zillow doesn't know that, but you have to know what it costs to change the paint. You have to know what colors the consumer ought to use. You've got to be a resource. Don't you tell your consumers anymore to go to Houzz, HOUZZ.com. Now that is a time suck, and I've enjoyed it myself when I was fixing up my beach house. But I am not going to tell one of my beloved clients to go wander around on Houzz and put their house together themselves. That's ridiculous. You're the professional. If you are a professional, you can help them in a way that a website can't. You with me yet? Some of y'all got some homework to do, I believe. And the third thing that your Zestimate can't account for is upgrades. Now, this one they're working on, y'all, because of that AI thing I was telling you about. You know, the little people who follow you around everywhere. The thing about your upgrades is that in most markets, all right, now I don't know the rest of the world, but I know North Carolina. We don't have to pull a permit to change the rugs. We do not have to pull a permit to paint the house. We do not have to pull a permit to scrape the popcorn up off the ceilings. We do not have to pull a permit to put in some granite. And those things change the price of a house. Wouldn't y'all agree? You're professionals. You know how upgrades change the price of a house. Zillow can't account for that, all right? So the house next to it where no permits were pulled and nothing was done, Zillow thinks they're the same because they're looking at tax records and permits. Now, if you do really good photos, this is being adjusted for. So just be always at the front and learning and providing more. Are you with me yet? Okay, now, I'm going to tell y'all the first step to defeating Zillow. I gave y'all a little background now. Here is step one in your we call this ZA meeting. This is officially the meeting of the ZA, Zillow Anonymous. And I see some of my premier agent friends are up on here. Hey, y'all, look, listen. Would y'all answer your damn phones? Y'all are killing me on this. Killing me. I swear to God, I had a message from an agent this week. She called and said, God bless her, all right? She couldn't find the house she was trying to show, and her GPS, Google Maps wasn't helping her, and couldn't I tell her how to find that house? And after I listened to that message, and I got my blood pressure back down and called the woman back, and she answered the phone like this. Hello? No! If you are a realtor, you answer the phone first and last name and company. Let people know what you do. You do not say hello or hey or any of those one-syllable words. I know hello is 2 syllables and around here it's 5, but still. I am Leigh Brown with RE/MAX, so I answer the phone. Good afternoon, Leigh Brown RE/MAX. That's how I answer the phone, because why? I'm a professional realtor and I want the word to know. And by the way, in addition to answering your phone, if you're going to leave a message, would you please leave a reasonable message with your name and your company and your phone number and the property you are calling about? Those of y'all that say, hey, I have a question about your listing, call me back, and you hang up. I did not call you back because I don't love you. I didn't call you back because I don't know who you are or how to find you or which house you called about. Y'all are killing me on that. And by the way, your voicemails need to have your name and your company and something going on in there. Y'all are killing yourselves. You want consumers to pay you these thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and not go to websites. But you know what? If they need information from Zillow, Zillow gives them the information. If they want it from you, they call you. They get your voicemail because you hit decline and you sent them to voicemail. And then you didn't call them back because you forgot, because you were busy. Why do you think they went to websites? Now you know. So listen, this is your option on your phone. You can decline or accept. I'm going to challenge y'all to hit accept once in a while. You are in a people business. You're supposed to be talking to people. Now I get it. I'm allergic to the telephone. I am an introvert, does not like to talk on the phone. Oh, yes, Michael. Yes, amen. You got to empty that voicemail. One of my agents, and I love him, but his voicemail says it's full, and he said it was because he was avoiding a client, and I about died laughing, but then I'm like, it's funny, but sad. Empty your voicemails. Y'all, Zillow's voicemail doesn't get full. They just take care of things right away. When y'all gonna learn how to take care of things right away? You've got to. So anyway, I'm challenging y'all to answer your phones. Now, when you answer it, I want to challenge you to have an ink pen and a piece of paper with you so you can talk to them and write down what they said instead of trying to be that waitress in the restaurant that tries to memorize your order and can't remember it, and it comes out wrong, and then you get aggravated and you don't want to go back to eat there and you tip them for crap. That's what happens to you realtors when you're trying to memorize the phone call you have with a potential buyer or seller. Why don't you act like they're important? Ooh, yes, That's what changes your business, when you act like the consumer is important, because if you act like it long enough, they'll become important. You know, that's why Jesus told us to pray for our enemies, because he said that if you pray for them, you can't hate them, and eventually you'll start to love them, because you know what? People that you love, they love you back, and that grows. When you are doing things for other reasons, it does not grow. It goes downhill, okay? Now, we're going to answer the phone. We're going to speak to people. You're going to use your intake sheets. I've given y'all the intake sheets 100,000 million times. If you still need them, I'll put the link back out there. But y'all need to use the daggum things and give the consumers an experience that is consistent. It, by the way, will help you be better compliant with federal fair housing, because I have listened in on some phone calls lately that make my nerves get very shot. Now, we're also going to talk about what you do when you need backup, okay? Look, I know Carolina won the championship. What? So it's in all my slide decks for as long as it will be. So some of y'all are solo agents, and you say, well, Leigh Brown, that's fine. Maybe you can answer your phone all the time because you're special. I am special. I'm Wonder Woman, and I'm just like that woman in the movie because I shaved my armpits too. I don't understand why the liberals got so upset about that, but that's a different discussion. The thing is, look, I will give y'all the link to these intake sheets. I will put it up in the title of this post. I'll give them to y'all for free, but for the love of God, use the things. So anyway, those of y'all that think that I'm special and I can answer my phone, but you can't because you're so busy, you're just so busy you can't answer the phone, get a friend, all right? I'm going to tell y'all, one of the absolute best things you can do in this industry is get involved. Whether it's your local association or your state association or the national association or the women's council or CRS or just some people you found on Facebook and made up your own mastermind group. You've got to make friends in this business. It's lonely out there. And if you ever want to be able to service the consumer properly, you need colleagues that will back you up, all right? So you're going to have all these great masterminds and these great people from across the country, but what you really need is a buddy in your local market. And that's hard for some of y'all because you don't like your competition. You feel very threatened by them and you get all territorial like two tomcats out on the back patio. I get it. But you know what? You're not always two tomcats on the back patio. Maybe your two tomcats going to strut around and chase down that dog that snuck up onto your street. There is a reason to work together. And I'm going to tell you, in your market, I don't care how good you are, you're not the best. There's somebody else out there that's as good as you or better than you. So put the humility on, put that cloak of humility on and call that person that you love. And you know this agent. This is the one that when they bring you an offer, you go, yay! I want you to sell all of my listings because you're amazing, because you fill in all the blanks and you have all the right vendors and I love you. You need that agent. I want you to call them. And hopefully they're not even in your company, because the best relationships grow when we step outside of our brand identities and learn that our competitors can be our friends even if we don't have the same color sign. All right? Go to lunch with this person. I want you to tell them that you love them. And I want you to mean it. To say, here's why I admire your business. Here's what I think is wonderful about you. And then they're going to feel good, because it's nice to have things said about you that are kind and complimentary. So do it for somebody else first. Maybe they'll repay the compliment. Maybe you're just not nice yet and you'll get your turn in the future. But you got to start with the positive attitude on your end, all right? So you're going to take this person out and tell them why you love them. And then you're going to say, when I can't answer my own phone, would you cover for me? And you can take the buyers or sellers that come in. Yes, that's a bold, big move. And some of y'all are like, Leigh Brown, I'm not doing it. Yes, you got to. And I've said it before. I want you to do it with me. Put your hands together. All right? And yes, I got my nails painted blue today because it's summer. In this is an attitude of scarcity. What can get in when my hands are closed? Nothing. If you will move your life to an attitude of abundance where there's enough for all of us, your life changes, because everything is yours then. I am not joking about this, y'all. This is for real. So you're going to tell that agent that for 3 hours at a shop, they might get some of your business. Now, if you've picked the right person, their honor and integrity, they're going to pay you a referral fee back, and they'll take great care of the consumer. The consumer's going to have immediate service, and they're going to have somebody with honor and integrity and great morals and a great business model, because your goal was taking care of the consumer, getting the phone answered, taking great care of them. Now, this is a solo agent solution. Some of y'all that are teams, you've got people to lean on. That's awesome. Solo agents, that's not your excuse anymore. Go make a friend. And if you don't know anybody in your market that's as good as you or that has your same integrity and honors and morals, get involved. Start volunteering for committees and find them. They're there. And they might need to know that you're there too. So, with that being said, also get a good phone number. I use Google Voice. It's free, all right? Google.com/voice gets you a free phone number with your area code, which leads me to a whole different discussion. If you move out to a different market, would you please get a local area code? Because if I move to Arizona, because Rhodey's on my comments thing right now, if I move to Arizona, I am not going to be buying a house from somebody with a 704 area code, because that's my area code, because I'm going to figure they're not a local expert. Think about how the small things in your business could be conveying a message you don't want conveyed. Now, you're going to say, but Leigh, that's my number from college. It's always been my number. I hear you and all your tired excuses, because that's my benefit for traveling. I hear all the excuses. But the thing is, a Google Voice number could point to your beloved 561 number, and the consumer doesn't have to know, but then you're conveying the message that you're there. And you're in this for the long haul, and you're serious about being part of the community. It's as simple as your area code, y'all. Now, you knew I was going to have to say this. You knew this was coming. Leggings are not pants. Leggings are not pants. I really think LuLaRoe is going to be the death of the real estate industry, and I don't know if that's in y'all's market too, but good Lord, LuLaRoe has eat up North Carolina, and my clients keep selling it, and I hear it's very comfortable, but I know better than to go down that slippery slope. That's just one step away from eating a whole container of ding-dongs at one time. But you've got to think about leggings not being pants, because in our industry, we have allowed ourselves to slide when it comes to professional dress. And y'all love to tell me how your market's different. I'm going to tell you something. If I move to your market to buy a property and I'm spending a $100,000, which some of y'all don't think that's much money, but you think about how big that is. If you had that cash in your hand, that's $100,000. Quit acting like you're too good to handle people that don't have a lot of money. For heaven's sakes, no wonder they go to Zillow. You've made them feel ashamed about the money that they have or don't have to spend. Y'all, the words that you say have weight. I know this better than everybody because I step in it all the time, but you've got to think about this. This leggings thing. I had a client, she was spying on her showings, and I love my clients that tell me they're doing that. You have them too. She went across the street to her neighbor's house, and she called me, and she said, hey, who's showing my house? And I told her who it was, and she said, I don't think she's really showing it. I think she's having sex in there. And I said, well, what in the world makes you think she's having sex in there? And she said, well, she's wearing blue jeans that are all cut up and a real tight T-shirt, and she's with a man. Well, I don't know if they were having sex. I did call the agent and say, would you please tell me if y'all were knocking boots in my listing or not? And she said, oh, no, we weren't. The wife was somewhere else. We were all meeting at the concert later. She was horrified that that had been said about her. Well, if she had been wearing a blazer and a blouse and a skirt, maybe nobody would have thought she was in the house hitting it. I mean, think about this. There's a way to show people that you get that you're dealing with their largest financial instrument. And when you choose to wear things like leggings and tore up blue jeans just because that's your best friend, you've told them that their largest financial instrument doesn't mean beans to you. So I tested my theory this weekend when I was in the airport because I travel entirely too much, but it's because of love for y'all that I keep trying to break through your beloved hard-headed skulls. And part of the time in Atlanta, I was wearing my long-distance plane clothes, which was yoga pants and a T-shirt, because if I'm going to sit on the plane for 9 hours, I'm going to sit in yoga pants. And people did not defer to me, didn't open doors for me, didn't, do whatever I wanted them to do with my Vulcan mind meld. And then I went to the Sky Club and changed into my normal professional attire, which, frankly, is very comfortable, put together. I don't have my boobs hanging out because nobody wants to see that at this age. And I don't have too much leg showing after I got fussed at a few years ago and I didn't realize how I was looking too young for my age. So I fixed all those things. But when I came back out in that outfit, people held doors for me, tried to grab my suitcase and help me with things and moved out of my way because, when you dress professionally, people treat you differently. But more importantly, you treat yourself differently. When you're wearing your leggings and yoga pants and your relaxed, lazy clothes, you give yourself the excuse to be relaxed and lazy. When you dress professionally, you put yourself in a place to be confident and bold in what you say and to be the professional who's willing to give the advice they do or don't want to hear. It's so important, y'all, and we've let it go. So I will tell you, it's time for us to reclaim respect. When I say wear a suit, I don't mean like this little trollop here, got her boobs hanging out and her hair hanging down. That don't work for nobody. And by the way, if I'm selling my house, I ain't letting that up in the house of my husband. He hasn't seen boobs that go out instead of down in years. And then we have this woman in the middle. She's beautiful. She's still sexy and attractive. She's got all her business covered up. Look, no midriff, got her skirt down, and she's still cute. You can be cute and dressed up, and if you're in a resort market, fine, put on flip-flops with that outfit. But if I'm spending serious money in your market, I ain't spending it if you look like a trollop or a lazy bum. And then we have our eye candy here because, frankly, I think all men should have to have pocket squares and monogrammed cuffs like Cokie at Aussie in Washington, D.C. Cokie knows I'm pretty obsessed with those monogrammed cuffs because, for real, y'all, we have to do better. So you tell consumers that you are a professional, but then you show up for a showing in LuLaRoe leggings and a big loose shirt? Stop. Just stop. And don't tell me you don't have any money because there is a Stein Mart in every zip code in this country, or a TJ Maxx, a Marshalls, a Ross, a Belk with something on sale. Your excuses are over. And if you are scared to go to the store to shop because you're afraid you will run into me, because I do stop and give advice when it's necessary, go to the outlet for Zappos. If you weren't aware, that is 6pm.com. If you love Zappos, 6pm is the discount outlet. So now you can buy something decent and not embarrass all the rest of us. All right? Think about it. Think about it. And by the way, I'm going to remind y'all too, you don't want to dress up for your friends and family, but sometimes you dress up for your regular clients that you don't know from Adam. Why are you treating your friends and family like they don't matter? You need to dress for them as professionally as you dress for anybody else. I'm a runner. Do I show in my running clothes? Because that would scare people. That's very frightening. I tell them I need a few minutes so that I can shower and put some clothes on. Now, it won't always be perfectly put together, but get there. Invest in one blazer, all right? Those of y'all that are lazy about your clothes, put a blazer on top of your little blouse or whatever, and shazam, you'll look like you have some sense. Now, and if you're in a resort market or a rural market, your excuse is going to be, well, Leigh, we don't wear suits here, and I would look weird if I was in a suit. And I said, you look weird without any money either, because I ain't hiring you. Just think about this, though. Go +1, all right? Go +1 over your clientele. So if you're working at the beach, maybe you wear Tommy Bahama instead of the Aloha store, because that is a nicer quality piece. But put it together. Cover the midriff, cover the boobs, cover your legs if they ain't good, but this has got to stop. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a trick question, and I am going to read the comments on this. And those of y'all that know the trick answer, if you respond, I will know, because I know who you are. So, tell me what you see with this house. Start telling me what you see. Anybody see something you recognize in that house? I'll put it back on the screen for a minute, because I don't have any comments yet. I think it might be lagging because I'm on a live feed. But what you see with that house, and usually here's the responses I get. I get that it's a brick ranch, that it's got a big driveway, and that it's got bad photos and a dead lawn, and it's got a big garage, and there is nothing positive said about that house. Nothing. I show this thing in a class, and there is only one time that I've had a realtor say it belongs to somebody. And that's where I got to tell y'all, we've got to step this up, because we have gotten so big for our britches, especially in a hot seller's market, that we act like some houses aren't hardly worthy of us even deigning to set our precious dainty feet inside. This house mattered to somebody. This house was somebody's home for 40 years. And was it exciting? No. Was it in the greatest neighborhood? No. Was it the top end of the price point? No. Did that matter? No. Because it mattered to the people who owned it. And it mattered to the buyer who bought it. So think about it. When you're talking smack about your own listings, it's lucky that you got hired, but then you tell that buyer essentially they're buying a pile of crap. What's wrong with y'all? Find the positive, and if you can't find it, guess what? Ask the seller what they loved about it. Why'd you love this house? That house, I asked them why they loved it. And they said, well, it's because Mama's house was the center of the neighborhood, and there was always somebody over here for Bible study group or bridge club, or the children kind of wandering in and out of the house. She was a center of the community. So when you talk about that house, you would then talk about being the center of community, instead of focusing on giant driveways and dead yards and slopes, because those are things the seller maybe can or can't fix. So how about you get focused on each house being special and individual, just like y'all are special. I've already told y'all to dig into why you do real estate. Now I need you to talk to your sellers about these houses. And Elena, you're totally right. To the seller, it's a home. It's not a house. To us, it's a house. And that's where we have to bridge that gap. That's why I like to say realtors are the hospice of real estate, because we have to transition them from home to house. And by the way, the best way to do that is with more eye candy. That is a very handsome photographer. You people suck at photography. I don't know why y'all pick up your cell phones and try and take pictures of a house. I see the sellers in there. I see your thumb in pictures. I've seen way too many photographs of a centerpiece on a dining room table, and that is not going to convey anyway. So why do y'all make a picture of it? And then some of y'all like to say, oh, well, I'm very good with photos. I've got a DSLR camera. I have one too. But the godforsaken amount of time that it takes me to take photos and get them done well, because I can do them well, and then edit them without getting distracted and squirreling 87 times, is an inordinate amount of time. I should be hiring a professional to do this, and that's what I do. Now, y'all, that was hard for me, because I had to let go of the control there for a minute and allow somebody else to do something I was capable of doing. But until you delegate out the tasks that other people can do better, you will never grow. You will never be able to demonstrate your value. If I want a consumer to hire me, it's not because I, Leigh Brown, take great pictures. It's because I, Leigh Brown, say, I'm going to make sure you have professional photos. And by the way, I think we are on the cusp of trouble in this industry, because some of y'all, and I do wave my bony finger of shame at you for this, you like to tell people that you only do professional photography for a certain price range and up. Well, I call hogwash on that every house deserves professional photography. That's where consumers look. That's how they determine which properties to see. And you people are chintzing them. What's it going to cost you in your market? $75, $100, maybe $400 if it's a big old schwank custom fancy house. How many thousands of dollars are you going to make? Instead, you try to save a couple pennies. And my friend Kyle Killebrew in Indiana says it best. He says that is stepping over dollars to get to nickels. I do it for every house, regardless of price range. I'm proud of that, and I challenge every single realtor to do the same. Heck, if you're watching this and you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina market, you should do it for every listing too. Make me look bad. Make me stretch for something else. I can't use that to beat you in a listing. But y'all, it's insane to me. We're so cheap on something that matters so much. But yet y'all will drop like $1,200 a month on coaching programs for people you don't listen to. I mean, seriously? Invest that money in your businesses. And I'm going to say this. Y'all need to go on your showings. This whole thing about FaceTiming with people because it's convenient, that is not cool. Now I get it. They're in California. You had to FaceTime to trailing spouse, whatever. There's a reason that you could use technology to your benefit. But I'm talking about the companies that are doing this out of sheer laziness. Get up off your dead butt and go. Or give the buyer to somebody who has the time if you don't have it. Now, this is a real website in California. For my California friends who are watching, I've turned them into the California Board of Realtors a couple times myself. Because we do have to self-police in this industry. You've got to self-police the crap that's awful, like this one called shittylistings.com. And if you're a delicate, precious pumpkin watching this, I apologize for reading a word that's on a website. But y'all, that's for real on a website. Their job is to scour the internet. They've got bots, and I know y'all don't like bots because you don't like Zillow. See, and Zillow has bots, and y'all are afraid to learn. Go learn. Go. Quit fussing about Zillow when you're not learning, okay? So when you look at a website like this, okay, Linda, see, this website is reading your remarks on your listings. It's looking for as is, where is, diamond in the rough, all the tired language y'all use to describe a house that makes it sound so dreadful. So when y'all see a house in the multiple and it says the seller's offering a carpet and paint allowance, or it says bring your personal touches, you already know it's going to be a hot mess in that house, don't you? Because we never say it the way it really is. We always so busy sugarcoating it. Dale, I get it that you love it, but it's not dollars per your time. That's not where you spend your time. And we're never as good as professionals. So if you want to be a professional realtor, be a professional realtor. If you want to be a photography, totally do that. But I had to let go of that too, because I do enjoy photography, but it's not worth your money. So on this shitty listing thing, I want y'all to ask yourself this. If you were the seller and you found your house on this site, how would you feel? Would you be upset and tore up and beat down because you found your house on that website? You might would. Think about that. So when you see a website like this and you know it's been driven by the language in your listing, change the language in your listing. And then report this to the Realtor Commission. Because y'all, the Real Estate Commission requires us to self-police. It's very important that we do. So your thing of, I'm just going to let it slide because it's not affecting me. How do we wind up where we are today? Because we let things slide and figure that somebody else is going to deal with it. It's nobody else going to deal with it. You got to deal with it. You don't want somebody else to raise your children. I'm raising my children. This is my industry. I'm going to take care of my industry. I don't want to be seen as an industry. In fact, I want to be seen as a profession. And the only way we're going to be seen as a profession and not an industry is if y'all will do exactly as Leigh Brown says. Now, that means you have to do this. Education matters, all right? And don't you tell me that you don't have time. I am tired of hearing that little tired excuse, you do not have time. Well, I didn't have time to learn how to use the MLS when it came out and get away from the book either, but that had to happen. I didn't want to learn how to use a smartphone because I was happy with my Nextel. Did y'all have a Nextel phone? Because I love that little buzzing thing. Well, I had to let it go because things moved. Real estate moves. Now, y'all, some things are absolutely the same from year to year in real estate. This missionary style real estate that I say, this belly to belly, nose to nose, toes to toes, that hasn't changed. So if you're wondering why you're maybe not as successful as you want to be, is it because you're hiding behind old education and old technology and you're not out there missionary style with people? Have you asked yourself when the last time is you took a class where you learned something that you could then call your consumers about. Have you taken the class recently? Or if you took classes 20 years ago, take the updated version, all right? ePro today is not the same ePro that it was 15 years ago. Bill Lublin rewrote the whole daggum thing. Look at the CRS classes. Of course, I'm the president of CRS, and so I have to talk about it. But for real, it is the master's level education in real estate. Could it get better? Yes, and we're working on that. Some of the new classes we have coming out are amazing. Go take them. Carve the time out. You carve the time out for home inspections, appraisals, listings, and buyers, but you won't carve the time out to go take a class that will teach you how to better handle inspections and appraisals and listings and buyers. Think about this. You're investing in your clients. You're investing in your business. My favorite class of all time, and I've taken it 3 times, and I will take it again because, frankly, I have zero memory left, and I do blame the children for that. There is a class by CRS called Building Wealth in Real Estate. It's the 206 class, if you like the old numbers. It's how to do investments. And most realtors don't do investment real estate because you're scared of it, all right? And I get it. It's intimidating to think about advising somebody to buy real estate as an investment when you don't get it all the way. So first off, you got to get a plan together for you. You have to buy rental property. That's what we do, y'all. This is our business. You know this. You should be investing in this. Then you can talk to your clients about it, because when we look at the cyclical thing about real estate is that it's coming soon, the next downturn. It's coming. I can send you all the economic data in the world to show you why it's coming, and you won't read it, so I'm not going to send it to you, but just be assured the up markets don't last forever, all right? So you need to be teaching your clients how to take some of their equities out and then invest it in real estate, because rents happen in down markets too. My rental properties were one of the things that helped get me through when the finances were tough during the recession. You owe this to your clients to understand how to advise them in different ways in their real estate life. It's not just about primary residence. Maybe you want to tell people about buying beach houses, but you've never bought one. So partner up with a realtor who gets it and let them help you through the process. And then you could start advising people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's one of the best things you get from education is the cohort group that says, I'll help you. I've got an idea. We'll hook you up. And other classes I like SIPS, that international course. If you take it, if you have a chance to take it with Ron Phipps is teaching it, don't miss that opportunity, because he's amazing, not just the past president of the National Association. The man is a legend for lifting people up. And that's one of those things that you get from education. You get to lift others up by what you learn. Don't discount that. Now, I'll tell you, with CRS, if you have that designation, there is a new requirement this year. You've got to take 2 hours of maintenance education. And we have had some wailing and moaning and gnashing of teeth on that. Well, those are the same people that are mad about Zillow because they feel threatened. Well, I don't feel threatened because I get real estate and I get how it changes and moves and what I provide to my clients. The realtors who are mad about having to take 2 hours of education on top of their 6 hours annually, are you even kidding me? You look at what is required in your state for CE on nail shops, manicurists, massage therapists, home inspectors. They all do more than we do. Quit whining. And here's all your options, y'all. You got a whole heck ton of them. And you know what? They're not all great. I mean, some of them are better than others. They just are what they are. But in every class that you take, there's one nugget. There's one something you can do that will lift your business up and lift somebody else up. And maybe it didn't even come from the instructor. Maybe it come from that person maybe it came from that person you met at the coffee break. Maybe it was a conversation you had in the ladies' room, because frankly, we have a lot of conversations under the stall doors in the ladies' room. And that's where I want to talk to you about the power of community. We've underestimated this as realtors, and y'all do a lot on your own, but you forget that we do it together best. So I look at my volunteer life in the Realtor organization as my chance to help grow and build community amongst realtors, because what that does is it builds community with consumers, because realtors, y'all, we're the fabric of the community. We're the lifeblood of the community. You're the ones who understand what's happening with school districts and school zones, and you get what's happening with DOTs, and you get what's happening with political changes and how it affects houses, and what's the zoning board going to say about this builder and this new development. There's so many things that happen when you're educated and involved in the place where you live. But you can't make this happen by sitting on Facebook and Twitter, or by just staying in your car going through drive-thrus all the time. You have got to get better at getting involved. Start with your realtors. Call your local association. Find out what's going on. In Charlotte, we're very fortunate because we have this cool event called Realtors Care Day that just happened in April. And we had about 800 realtors who took the day off from their business to help in our community. And that's a big deal. We need to talk about that more as realtors, because that's something Zillow's not going to be able to do. They can spend some money on events, but that's not their reason for being. If our reason for being is to help consumers navigate their largest financial instrument, we have to be part of the largest part of our world, which is our local communities. Y'all, it's not rocket science. It's about you, and it's about you being involved in a way that matters. And I'll tell you, and you knew this was coming too, I want you to engage. So what you see on my screen here on the left-hand side, that's my friend Kevin Sears. He is currently our Vice President of Government Affairs with the National Association. He lives in Springfield, Massachusetts, and I went to their association last year to speak. And we were all supposed to go to dinner together because y'all like to entertain the speaker from out of town, even though she's an introvert and really kind of dies a little bit at a big dinner. But I do my best to suck it up because I really do love y'all. And so Kevin said, hey, we're going to be late picking you up because we got to go to town hall and speak at town hall meeting. And I said, oh, I want to go because I'm a political nerd, and so I wanted to go. So what I did was put on my Realtor R. They didn't ask me if I was a member of the Plymouth Association. They just saw I had the big blue R on. And there were about, I don't remember, maybe a dozen, 10 or 12 realtors there. And totally we outnumbered everybody except for some weird group that was picketing the grocery store. And Kevin, he never did tell me what was going on at the grocery store. But anyway, so Kevin got up to speak on behalf of an issue with eminent domain. And there were 7 property owners that were going to lose their businesses if this had passed. And there were lots of reasons to pass it that looked like they were the greater good, but those 7 businesses employed people in that neighborhood who could walk to work. So if those businesses went away, then those people wouldn't have a job. Well, as realtors, that's our job. We speak up for those people, the ones who have no voice and maybe think nobody hears them. Realtors hear because we're in our communities. You're vested in your community. You are your community. And how do you get involved with that? You get involved in the Realtor Party. We are the most effective grassroots organization that is nonpartisan because our split is 60-40 Republican-Democrat. We don't fight about that stuff. We just go shoulder to shoulder and take care of our communities, and we take care of human beings. That's what we do as realtors, y'all. That's how you defeat Zillow. You don't defeat Zillow by getting angry about it. You don't defeat Zillow by putting up petitions and demanding that NAR kill them. Tar, pitchforks, feathers, that doesn't work. What works is you. You're amazing. Your clients know it. Your people know it. You need to explain that to the world. And then Zillow won't be able to touch you. Instead, you could look at them for what they are. That's a tool. Consumers like it. We need to live with it. Take care of each other out there.